What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today we're going to be talking about why no one has a better young core than the Detroit Pistons, and we're going to jump right into the video. The future of the NBA is definitely in great hands. There are a bunch of young, talented stars in the NBA today, and there are also a bunch of teams that have some great young cores. We can look at teams like the Houston Rockets, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Those teams have an abundance of young talent, but I still think the Detroit Pistons have the brightest future in the NBA, and there are a bunch of reasons to why I think that, and reason number one is Cade Cunningham. Now, first thing first, Cade Cunningham is coming off a fantastic rookie season. He put up 17 points per game to go along with 5 assists and 5 rebounds. And just to put into perspective of how great his rookie season was, only 2 active players in the NBA have put up those type of numbers during their rookie season, and that was the great LeBron James and the dynamic Luka Doncic. So Cade is in some pretty elite company, and we look at his game, he has an all-around effect on the game of basketball, and there are so many things that makes him dangerous. And I want to start with his physical profile. He stands at 6'6", 220 pounds, and he possesses a 7-foot wingspan. So Cade Cunningham has all this great size, but he plays like a point guard. Offensively, he can score confidently from all 3 levels. He can knock down the 3-point shot. He can get to the mid-range area, pull up, and knock down the jumper. And he's a great finisher around the rim. I've seen him score so many different ways around the basket. He has the floater to his bag. He can finish with the right and the left. He can finish through contact, and he even has some post work down there. Now, it doesn't stop at scoring for Cade Cunningham on the offensive side of the ball, and this is another one of those things that just makes him so special. He understands and processes the game of basketball a lot faster and better than most of the players in the NBA, and it allows him to be a great playmaker. He has a great handle on the basketball, and he's also a great passer, so it just makes him a dangerous pick and roll player, because he's a threat to score the basketball, and he's also a threat to set up his teammates, and he has a counter for everything in the pick and roll. He can score the basketball himself. He can go to the big, whether it's a lob or a bounce pass, and he can also hit a shooter right in his shooter's pocket. So Cade Cunningham is a dangerous half-court player. He's also really good in transition when it comes to pushing the pace, getting the ball up the court, and making the right decision. And that's the biggest thing with Cade Cunningham. He's going to have that rare ability that we see throughout NBA history to control the tempo of the game. And I could see him being a top 5 player in the NBA one day. And he is the biggest reason to why I think the Detroit Pistons have the brightest future in the NBA. Now, another reason I think the Detroit Pistons have the brightest future in the NBA, they had themselves a great 2022 NBA draft. They had the number 5 overall pick, and they went out and got Jaden Ivey. And pairing him with Cade Cunningham, I think they have the opportunity to be the best backcourt in the NBA one day. I think there's that much potential there. And we look at Jaden Ivey, there is so much to love about his game. Now, Jaden Ivey stands at 6'4" with a 6'10" wingspan, and he was by far the most athletic player in his draft class. Now, it's very nice that he has the speed, the power, the quickness, and the insane ability to jump off the ground. But what makes him so special and so dangerous as a basketball player is that he has the ability to harness it all. He is in full control of his body, and it makes him a very scary offensive player. He does a great job of handling the basketball, and watching his highlights in college in the summer league, he does a great job of changing his pace of speed, and it makes his movements unpredictable. He knows how to slow it down, and as soon as the defender takes a nap, he blows right past that defender and gets to any spot he wants to on the court, whether it's in the mid-range area or to the rim, and he's a great finisher at the rim. It's the best part of his game. Watching his highlights, he does a great job of contorting his body to make those crazy finishes. He's very agile and he makes the acrobatic layups. He can finish through contact, or he can just get up and punch it on you. He's a great finisher around the rim, and he can do many other things on the offensive side of the ball as well. He does a great job in pick and roll situations. He's effective as both the facilitator and the scorer. Now I want to talk about Jaden Ivey's three-point shooting. A lot of people think Jaden Ivey can't shoot the three ball at all, and that's simply not true. Now, he played 2 years in college. His freshman year, he shot 28% from the three-point line, which isn't impressive at all. But his sophomore year, he made a huge leap and he shot 36% from the three-point line. But my point being is that Jaden Ivey is more than capable of knocking down a wide open three-point shot. So I think he has tremendous upside on the offensive side of the ball, and he also has tremendous upside on the defensive side of the ball. We got to remember he possesses that 6'10" wingspan. You pair that with his elite athleticism, those are two things that can lead to some elite defense. I think the other factor that's going to go into it is effort. He's going to have to want to be a lockdown defender, but I definitely think he has the tool set to do one. And watching him in college, he was fairly active on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the passing lanes. He got a lot of off-ball steals that led to some easy transition buckets. So I really like Jaden Ivey on the Detroit Pistons. And it doesn't stop at Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. There is so much more young talent on the Detroit Pistons. And now we get to look at Saddiq Bey. Now, Saddiq Bey is coming off a very solid sophomore season. He put up 16 points per game to go along with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. And I look at him as a glue guy for the Detroit Pistons. He doesn't miss any games. He's going to play hard on defense, and he's going to knock down some big-time shots. But I think he has the potential to be more than that, more than a glue guy or more than a 3-and-D player. And that's because he has an insane work ethic. He puts in a lot of work. We look at what he's been doing this offseason, training in higher altitude environments, and you just see these type of things paying off on the basketball court. We look at Saddiq Bey and we compare his rookie season to his sophomore season. He got a little bit better offensively in terms of self-shot creation. He was able to put the ball on the floor, get to the mid-range area, and knock down the jump shot. He was able to get all the way to the rim and finish with either hand, and he also added some post work to his bag as well. He's learning how to use his size and strength. So I love Saddiq Bey on the offensive side of the ball, and I also love him on the defensive side of the ball. I think he is filled with so much potential. And I also want to look at Isaiah Stewart, and I think he is a very underrated NBA player. Now, I think Isaiah Stewart has a strong chance to become one of the best players on the Detroit Pistons. He's one of those players that does all of the little things to help his team win, but they don't show up on the box score. He does a great job of setting screens, diving for loose balls, boxing out every possession, hitting the glass on both sides of the ball. He just plays with a lot of energy, and he's a great team player. And his skill set, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, is starting to develop. He's really been working on that three-point shot, and down the stretch of last season, he closed out the year shooting 11 of 18 from the three-point line, which is pretty damn good. He also carried that into this year's summer league. He was knocking down the three-point shot, and if he can become a player that can just consistently knock down open threes, it is going to really unlock this Detroit Pistons offense. He's also gotten a lot better around the rim. He got the baby hook on both sides, just a great touch around the rim, and he's just really getting better offensively. And on the defensive side of the ball, this is where I think he's very underrated. I know he's good at protecting the rim and holding down the fort in the paint, but he's a really good perimeter defender for his size. He does a great job of switching onto smaller players and forcing them into some pretty unfortunate situations, whether it's a bad shot or a turnover. And this is just very valuable in the NBA today when you have those bigs that can be versatile in who they're guarding. So I really love Isaiah Stewart, and I think he has the chance to be one of the best bigs in the NBA. So those 4 guys right there, I think they're the staple in the Detroit Pistons franchise, but there is so much other young talent on this team that I didn't even talk about yet, and this is why I think they just have the brightest future. I didn't bring up Marvin Bagley, Jalen Duren, Killian Hayes, Isaiah Livers. All those guys have some pretty insane potential too. So I'm really excited to see what the Pistons are going to be doing for these next couple of years. I'm definitely going to be going to a lot of games this season, but that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.